So I'm just going to start talking to some of you. You can respond with a wave, yay or nay. So who has balls with them today and is planning on doing some of the experiential part of the webinar? Anyone? You can just, yeah, raise your hand just so I know who you are. Okay. And those of you who want to take part and just don't quite know the setup, you can either sit on the floor, because we will do a little bit sitting. We will do a little bit more lying down. And again, that's pretty much the experiential part. I'm going to start with some kind of information gathering on my part to learn a little bit about you, and hopefully that'll also help you to, understand how to do the method yourself and learn a little bit more about, yourself. And sometimes the interaction, it stimulates your nervous system. So that's why sometimes formulating a question, pondering some of the answers, is not so much, I just want to put the ball there, which is pretty familiar to people, foam rollers, rolling on balls, tennis balls, and all of that kind of stuff. But the method has some really unique components to it that I think a lot of times the clarification of which I hope the webinars will do for you, so that when you practice on your own, you just keep building that ability to know your instrument, your body, and
We do an exercise thing in the beginning.
richer and richer. Please be aware that you want to be on mute if you feel like talking to people in the room, or if you know you have small children or dogs that might start barking or who knows what. That's up to you. Otherwise, if you want to keep yourself off mute, that's great. You can ask questions. So again, some of you may choose to do the experiential part. That would mean that when we begin that part of the webinar, you would have either a chair to sit in, right? Not like a really soft cushy where you'd lean back in it, but just something like a bench or a hardwood chair that we can start going through some of these key areas of the body, so you can experience that and maybe some things you can take with you, and also laying down on the floor. All right, so with that said, welcome. It's really nice to see you all. And I'd like you to just either raise your hand and just let me know how many of you actually know the method. So you can just raise your hand. I know a lot of you, I guess, had too much fun last night, are not opening your videos. There's a very small percentage of people that are really on video today. It's very interesting. So hopefully that's good news. All right, so raise your hands again. I lost it. Sometimes on Zoom, I miss things. Okay. All right, and so how many of you practice every day? Okay, so no hands on that. Okay. All right, how many of you guys? Okay, I'm really not keeping score. This is really for you, and I can give you lots of explanations for why that's important, but whatever. Who maybe practices 2 or 3 times a week? Okay. And when you practice, do you feel like you're, really invested in, understanding the directions, or do you feel like you could learn more? What do you, kind of raise your hand if you feel you are not quite clear, but you do it?
That's pretty clear.
What's that, Patricia?
Oh, no, sorry, I didn't mean, I'm doing it long enough, I feel pretty clear.
Okay, so you feel clear on the directions. And how many of you, just raise your hands, have, something that you would want to improve with your body? Just something you're working on. Yeah, so pretty much everybody. I mean, that's kind of universal, And if you don't say that, it's kind of limiting yourself, because the body's always able to improve, regardless of what your situation, it's always able to improve. So that's a good answer. All right. So, okay. So some of you have started your setup so that when we do begin this is so interesting today. It's a little different. Some of the other webinars, some people, your hair, I know this wild night last night, the hair is a little crazy. Okay. That's all right. I was in bed early. I have a lot of ball stuff to do. Anyway, anybody have, I know I got some emails, anybody have a specific area of the body, maybe one or two people, or questions about the method? Again, those are important because as much as you would just like to do, you know, go through the class, to kind of formulate a question sometimes is challenging because when you do the work, you're kind of formulating your own questions. Nobody else is there, but you're having a back and forth with your body. That's something that goes on instantaneously in the nervous system. It's like as fast as switching a light on. You don't think there's going to be 20 minutes before the light goes on. When you make a switch, you take that for granted. Believe it or not, that's how fast your body is as well. And so a lot of times it is very kind of blurry how the body responds. Sometimes we take a really long time to respond and don't really notice things. And that's just because we're not giving it sometimes good directions. So that's why I'm asking these questions. All right, so anybody have anything specific, a specific question? You can raise your hand, one or two, or any particular area, keep it brief, that you would like to work on today. Anybody?
I have a question. You know that I'm working on sciatic circumstances. I recall you mentioning occasionally working on sciatica issues for yourself. Did the method completely resolve it?
Oh, yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Really great.
Otherwise I wouldn't be here, and that was a long time ago. We're not going to say how long. Yeah. It's so interesting, right? But yeah, 100%. Anybody else? Oh, go ahead, Arlene.
I have a second question.
The two-part question. Okay.
It's not two-part. It's a completely different question. From the very beginning of doing ball sessions, with or without your guidance, I've noticed popping and crinkling sounds in my spine, sometimes high, low. Is this normal?
You know, I've never having worked in a hospital for so many years, I've always had the benefit of talking to different doctors, different fields, and asking them what that meant. And everybody kind of has a little different, a little different way of looking at it. Nobody takes it that seriously. I can't say for sure. But I've never, for myself, I know when I started, I used to get an incredible amount of snap, crackle, and pop in my neck. Some of what we're going to talk about today, as far as those key areas of the body, is the body sometimes gets compressed. People are very familiar with, say, chiropractic, right? Most people get a sense, many people, have you seen, the photos of the spine with the disc in between, and then there's like a compression, and they show that the spine kind of presses and, kind of constricts. And then if you go to turn, sometimes the snap, crackle, and pop could be, what did they say, the calcium that builds outside the bone rather than going into the bone, right? Because they say there's no room for the good circulation into the joints. So things start to get stuck, right? Rather than things moving through the joints. You might find that changes. I know people who love that. They feel when they crack, it's the best thing in the world. Other people think it's not good. Yeah. Does it cause you pain?
No.
Yeah.
Just
so that's
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's curious, but it would be interesting to see if you notice the difference between when your body is constricted and you move, or restricted, which is what we're going to do today, to see if we can tell the difference. That's the method, and that goes through the directions to feel your physical body. So knowing whether you're constricted or restricted or clenching, which a lot of that sciatic pain comes from, that feeling of making like fists with your body, which make things shorten and press on nerves. And this can happen in many areas of the body. Anybody else have a question that they want to maybe address? Joanne?
Question is, every morning I get up and I stretch and I do a lot of the things on the ball. Is there some specific exercise one can do to alleviate, in my case, the left hip that I should incorporate into my daily stretches?
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that stretching is what changes your body. I believe it's all exercise, including stretching. It's the way you do it. So just hear your question. It's what stretches, and that's a universal, like, looking for that oasis in the desert question all the time. Which exercise, which stretch is going to help me? And that's never what you want to be looking for. It's the way in which you do your stretches, because any stretch could probably change most parts of your body. If you think of your body more as electricity, a chain reaction, but it's the way you're doing the stretches. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
I just had a question. I landed really hard on my back on the corner of a stair 2 days ago now. I've been icing and heating it, and I'm very new to this. I just saw it come up, and I was like, "Oh, perfect, neck and back release." Those are the parts of me that are sore. And I do have the balls. I only just got them, and I have not really used them. They were recommended to me by my massage therapist.
Yeah, I think
And
it's a really good point. If acute pain, which is very different than chronic pain, okay, those are two different worlds. Now, acute pain, just like if you sliced your finger cutting cantaloupe or something like that, it's going to take time for that to heal, depending on how bad a gash it was. Now, if you cut yourself, you know that if you do all the wrong things, don't clean it out, don't put a Band-Aid on it, maybe put some kind of ointment, whatever it is, or let it keep getting, germs in there, it's probably going to take longer to heal. So with that said, acute pain can be helped by what we're doing to not exacerbate so that it becomes chronic. But if you just hurt yourself, you want to understand that anything can happen to anybody. I've had injuries in my life, since my sciatic episode and losing the feeling in my right side and all kinds of stuff like that early on in my life. I still did stupid things and, had to let them heal. But luckily, I kind of knew some, so that they're just very important clarification there. So you don't do anything that, if it hurts, your body's telling you, just don't do that, maybe do something else. Anybody else? Sherry?
Hi,
Hi.
what do I do so that you see me?
What do you mean, what do I do that I see you?
Do you see me anyway? Because I'm not a full picture. Anyway, I'm sort of ashamed to admit because here I studied with you in Connecticut a long time ago, and I have everything I need, and I didn't do it. And part of it is because I still don't understand it. So I've done a million things since then, and it's only getting worse. It could be getting worse because I'm getting older. Because 20 years ago, it just started with lower back pain, and then it went into sciatica. And at the beginning, when I work with you, I did it. I did it, and I did feel better. And for some reason, I stopped, and then, stretch bands and weights and things like that, which have only made it worse. So the fact that you had a webinar today, on the first of the year was really important.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, I'm not, that was not my nature is, I don't think, to be a teacher. It's not really my nature. But then again, I do have this very like school marm kind of thing. Like, I'd like to, you shouldn't have done that. But the bottom line is, one of my closest friends who, you know, has done the method, is a proponent of it, has all the equipment, whatever. And yeah, and he has some serious issues. And we talk about this all the time. And he's helped me to understand, because to me, pain is so devastating. It was in my life, especially not being able to move the lower right side of my body at such a young age. And there's just a whole story to that. A lot of it was physical, but then a lot of it's my personality and whatever. And I think the problem a lot of times is there's so much information out there, but there's choices people make in life. It makes no sense to me when it comes to pain, why people don't do something this simple. But it is for the reason you said. People don't understand the directions, and there's just way too much information out there which contradicts everything I'm saying. And it's a lot easier not to have to learn something new, even if it's easy. And some people really can live with pain. I could not. And so that has been a great understanding for me, because it's very confusing why people don't take care of this, because especially as an aging process, people train themselves to age. So again, your body can learn new things, do new things, but that's why I'm here, is to give you a little bit of hopefully encouragement. Consistency is the key, but I would rather you do it, and I'm good at this, do it badly, but just do it. 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, something like that, in bed, whatever. But learn the directions, and don't worry if anything gets better. That's not your thing. Oh, did that work? Did that work? It's like you're looking at your body like an inanimate object. Did we fix the problem? Did we fix the problem? You don't care about that when you do the method. What you want to do is feel your physical body. That's what you don't do. That's,
May I add to it?
who's that?
Sherry.
Sherry, go ahead, yeah.
So I've been studying what emotions mean to all this, and what my thinking is and feelings are preventing me from feeling better, that I am creating obstacles to feeling better emotionally. And so I've been studying how that happens, because if I'm putting a block in the way of feeling better, I'm not going to feel better.
Right. So there's three parts to this whole thing. There's the physical reality of what we live with, the day to day. Maybe this hurts, maybe, that's tight, maybe we have an on chronic pain, something like that. And then there's the sense of your thoughts, like you said, how your thoughts might exacerbate what's going on in your physical body or help it. But then there's the third component, which is what we're going to do today, your behavior, how you act on it. And some people have more issues with the avoidant behavior, like I just don't want to do that, I'd rather go out to dinner. But my friend helped me to understand that that is what some people would rather do. So don't put yourself down. This is not a process for everyone. You know what I mean? You have to kind of give yourself that sense of experimenting. And that goes for everybody, even people, and myself a lot. I have to follow the directions, because a lot of times being a bit hyperactive, I want to jump ahead all the time, right? But I get so moved by the feeling that there's this whole world on the other side of my hyperactivity that just blows my mind, and it never stopped blowing my mind, right? And so, yeah, I've been doing it a long time, but I hope I can help you to just stop trying to feel better
Mhm.
Just feel your body. Let's start with that today. All right, and that's what the finding the 5 key areas is about. Is the thing is that here we are talking, I'm asking you to do a really odd thing. I'm asking you to feel what you don't feel. You kind of have to go in with that sensation that you might have some parts of the puzzle, but just like if you're learning anything in life, there's so much more. So maybe you have some of it. Some people actually have a great kinesthetic sense and they have a lot going on right from the get-go, but maybe that sort of behavior part of them, they don't really want to do it, right? And then some people like myself, I don't have a really good, sense of, my physical body. I got a lot of stuff going on, but the behavior was that, no, I can hang out here. So you kind of realize you make a good point, Sherry. There's a lot going on, but you do just have to understand that you're just getting a sensation of feeling. The balls are really, really good at, and some of the other things that we're going to do today to just give you a sense of your physical feeling. But if you don't have cause and effect, if you don't know the difference between a knot in your shoelace and, oh, I loosened up the knot and now I tie my shoelace. That's what you're doing with your physical body. There's parts of it you feel, there's parts of it you don't feel at all. And those are probably the parts that really could be beneficial to you. And those are what I mean by some of those key areas of the body. So we're going to start. With that said, we're going to start sitting. And here, everything we do in the next, we're going to do like 5 to 7 minutes of just sitting, okay? Just to find the key areas in sitting, and then we'll lie down. But here's what's different, okay? Sherry and everybody else. This takes 15 seconds to 30. I would think every day you've got 15 or 20 seconds. This will help your nervous system. You're starting, just no forced posture, no feeling of I'm going to make myself start doing something. To the best of your ability, just sit on either the chair or the floor, whatever is most accommodating. And you start with a check-in. This switches gears between thinking, again, all those thoughts that can take us away from our body, those behaviors that can take us out, and just simply, it's not deep. It's something that we're just not as familiar with because we just don't do it, right? So with that sense of just noticing anything about the feeling of your physical body, the way it sits, and the sense of where you feel you're breathing. Because going back to Joanne's question with what stretches, this ability is what changes your stretching. Okay, so what we do here in these 15 or 20 seconds is the same part of the brain, your nervous system, that you're going to be just getting, oh, okay, that's operating. And it keeps giving you feedback unless you go into the part of the brain that stops feeling and just goes through the exercises, right? That's different, okay? So with that said, you're taking 15 or 20 seconds, you're getting a sense of noticing the feeling of how you're starting. You could do this at home, lying down if you go, you know what, I don't want to start sitting, but you still want to take a few seconds to start and get a sense of what you notice about the feeling of your physical body, what jumps out at you. Anybody, 1 or 2 people want to just briefly put it into words, because that's hard, especially for beginners. Anybody? Especially a beginner. It'd be nice if a beginner had something they wanted to say. So you're either shy, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
No,
I'm
go
just noticing as I sit, I'm really feeling my body. I am noticing how the right side where I've hurt myself is very, just clenched. It's all clenched. but then there's other parts of me that are feeling relaxed. So that's interesting. And the neck is sore.
And because we're learning an instrument, just like if you were learning a piano, you begin to start getting away from generalizations like banging on all the keys at one time. And what a teacher eventually learns you to do is identify like sounds and notes, right? With your body, when you go through a process like this, just sort of help yourself a little bit to be more specific, not just general, I like what I feel or I don't like what I feel, because that's going to take you into your stretching. That's going to take you into bigger movements. Okay, anybody else? Sherry?
I'm not new, but I never seem to get the feeling of my body other than what hurts. And you're always talking about how the body feels, and I never feel anything other than what hurts.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Yeah, I just don't believe that. So again, that's because you're in your intellectual brain and you're looking for a feeling.
Okay.
Okay, and everybody probably does that. That's why every time I teach a class, I get this like, moment of silence where nobody says anything, because what's right? What's the right answer? What's the right feeling? You have physical feeling. You can't be walking around with no physical feeling. It's just that you have an idea of what you think physical feeling is. And so you're kind of editing yourself too quickly. You feel something about the way you're sitting. Okay, if it is pain, remember, pain is the result of the way you're sitting right now. It's not just pain. It's got a cause and effect. So again, whatever comes to you, but that's why I'm asking you to put it into words. Anybody feel like, I didn't notice anybody jumping up on, anybody notice their breathing? Because physically you are breathing. Okay, so where do you feel breathing? So that's always to me, because you're sitting and you're breathing are the same place. So you're going to sit based on the feeling of your breathing, and your breathing is going to affect the way you're sitting. It's the same, it's like all a circle. So anybody not, yeah, go ahead. You're on mute though, sweetie. Elizabeth, is it Elizabeth? Yeah, go ahead.
I've never done Zoom. I I agree with whoever said they don't feel anything. I only feel if I touch my arm, I feel my arm, but I don't have a sense of feeling anything. But since you said about the breathing, I feel the front of my body, like I'm trying to sit. I don't know if you can see me. I'm trying to sit cross-legged, and I think I'm upright, but I feel the front of me is all compressed, like too short and too no space.
So,
Is that a feeling?
and so wait a second. Let me try to understand you. So that is feeling then. So you do feel that,
Show us what's going on.
right?
This is way beyond
Oh,
this.
I feel there's just no space there.
Okay, so isn't that a feeling?
I don't know. I didn't think about it.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say to Sherry. This is really, really important, because a lot of people jump out of their body too quickly. You noticed some.
Oh, I just stuff.
Please put yourself on mute. If you have people talking in the background, please put yourself on mute. Elizabeth, no, that was brilliant. Again, you do feel your body. You said, oh, I'm all hunched over, whatever. It's just that you're trying to feel something that's correct. No, you feel what it is. Anybody else get that? Because this is the whole ball game. And sometimes in the beginning, because I have it right here, line item number 4, you don't feel your body. Okay, just take that. You don't feel your physical body. Everybody thinks they do, but that's why when I ask the question to, 20-year-olds, and they literally like, I gotta go. Because for some reason that flips people out.
Here we go.
Oh, I don't feel the physical body.
Lift your tongue. There.
I start muting people. I don't know who those people are, but
That's just strange. What do you think it could be, Rick?
I don't have no idea. If I knew, I'd be able to fix it.
yeah. Who is that?
Can you mute all of us?
I want to be able to have you.
Well, we can contribute by raising our hand, because when that other couple talks, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's their name?
I can't find them.
Oh.
I can't find who they are, but I think I have a sense. Hold on a second. I'm going to try that and see what happens. Okay. So I think you did. Does anybody really, because that is like when Joanne says, you know, oh, I want to do the right stretch. That is what's missing. You have to take the body you have and the feeling you have to find new areas. I know we don't like that. It's not fancy, but that allows you to have your body do something amazing. But it can't do something from a vacuum, from out in thin air. That's what they tell you. They tell you that's otherwise every exercise would work for people, but it doesn't. I've known people that have worked out, gone to physical therapy for years and years. I know people that have gone to chiropractic for like 20 years, but their body keeps returning to the same place because they don't know their body.
But when you ask, what are you feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Or feel, let yourself feel what you're feeling. That's the part I don't understand.
I've asked, the first thing I said was, do you notice anything about the way you're sitting? And that's what Elizabeth said, the way she's sitting is a certain thing. So anything about the way you're sitting, you would not be able, so maybe that's an easier way for you to get into it, is maybe feeling is too much of a hot word as far as like emotions and all of that stuff, but it's just what you notice about your sitting. Just what you notice about different parts of your body.
So it's not necessarily what I feel when I'm sitting?
Well, you wouldn't be able to notice how you're sitting if you didn't feel it. I think we're getting caught on a word,
Okay.
and that word change the directions then for yourself if it's more about the way you're sitting. But there are no two of you in this Zoom room today sitting the same way. There are no two people on the planet that engage their body in the same way. And that's why it's important for you to feel your body rather than you to imitate most exercises taught through repetition, imitation of somebody else's body, somebody else's direction, not the feeling of your own physical body, which changes everything. See if you could take that with you this week. Just a sense of maybe understanding that a bit more, because I embrace that all the time, even after all of these decades of doing it. So we're going to go to doing it a bit. We went off with the sitting. So I would say, let's stick with the feeling of your breathing. So one of the key areas of your body we're going to start with is your jaw. So on an exhalation, I want you to open your mouth, soften the muscles around your face and jaw, and just exhale on like a ha sound, like you're fogging up a window with your breath. So you're going to move the breath out on like a ha, like it's very quiet. It's just to open the mouth. It's just to move breath out a little bit. Let's make it easy to begin with, and then slowly close your mouth. You're going to give your body a chance to give you some feedback, right? Does it change your breathing in any way? Does it maybe make you notice anything about your sitting that you didn't notice before? And then you will repeat it. So we're just starting with open mouth breathing. When you're about to exhale, very good. You're going to open your mouth. You're going to feel the weight of the jaw. So a couple of the things, the directions, the feeling of weight, and the sense of what we're doing, you're breathing, bring more feeling into the physical body so you can notice things like the way you sit, stand, walk, run, play a sport, whatever it is you do with your physical body. So by feeling when you open your mouth, there is a sense of the weight of your jaw. Maybe it gets a little heavier. You're allowing the air to stream out, and then you're going to try to slowly close your mouth and notice if there's any change in where you feel you're breathing. Now, some people, when they do this, right, they might start to notice breathing going into maybe some different areas of their body. So air in the body kind of gives sometimes a sense of different parts, right? So stay with that for 1 or 2 minutes so you can do it on your own time. Does the jaw get a little heavier each time you open it? Does the air, what muscles do you feel you use when you exhale on that open mouth? What part of the body? Because breathing is very muscular, right? And then when you gently close your mouth, is there any change in that feeling of your breathing? So you're going to give your body a chance to do what we don't do, which prevents us from really understanding our physical body, is we don't allow for feedback from the body. We just keep doing the same things. All right. Now, I'm going to talk you through a few key areas while we do this for the next minute. So you stay with that. I want you to get a sense of the feeling of where you're sitting on the bench or the floor. So everyone is sitting on their sits bones. That's the base of your pelvis. Everyone. That is a key area of your body.
And naturally. And today, everything in this video you can get for essentially free, should you wish. I'll detail this later in the video. Now you have 3 options for your skin, glow, smoothness, and
I know, I don't know how to fix that. Okay. I don't know what that was. All right, so you're doing that with your, I'm going to talk you through some key areas. Your pelvis was 1. You're going to take your sits bones 1 at a time and just press them down into the chair 1 at a time. So you're going to press your right sits bone down, then the left sits bone down. And again, see if you can be specific. You're learning an instrument. So moving your upper body around a lot or throwing your head around is not your pelvis. So again, that's just a cool thing because clarity helps you to get different responses, right, than the usual, right? And you can still notice your breathing. Maybe there's some sense of other parts of your body connected to the feeling of your pelvis. And then just travel up to the top of your head. We're opening the mouth now, softening the jaw. Another really key area of the body is your head. It's the heaviest part of your body. And just notice physically where your head is in relation to the feeling of your pelvis. That again is your nervous system. Everything with the body, just like anything, is how it relates, connects. The head into your sits bones, into your pelvis, right? And then the feeling of the 3rd key area is your rib cage. That's in between your head and your pelvis. So when you open your mouth, right, just like you could read a book with 10 chapters in it, and you could get the whole storyline and probably even remember things that happened in the first couple of chapters that bring you to the end, right? You start noticing, you don't need to go back and keep rereading every word. With your body now, you can go back to the open mouth breathing. You can still feel your pelvis and your head at the same time. We've added in the feeling of your rib cage, and maybe you're not that good yet at kind of discriminating different parts from each other. Maybe it feels more like a clump, but you might kind of notice something if you feel your breathing, right? So getting that sense of the feeling of your body now after doing the open mouth breathing and just pointing out a few key areas, right? Anybody notice there's a little more feeling in the body? Notice I didn't say good feeling. I just said maybe you sense you're sitting differently. Anybody want to say anything about that before we move on, Elizabeth?
I I don't think I felt this before, but I can feel my rib cage. I can feel things there, like there's, I don't know, and it does feel like there's more room, and it does feel like it's moving, like sort of going apart a bit, and then there's some movement. I can feel all that.
Anybody else?
I feel like I'm noticing restriction in my ribs. Like they've been restricted and I'm just now becoming aware of it through this meeting.
Right. The rib cage for most humans is everything. It is the holy grail. It is because it is most people have so much tightness around their torso that it's like encapsulates and pulls in shoulders, the hips, the neck, everything else. So just doing something simple like this, look at the responses you already got, right?
Yeah.
So again, that's what you would want to stay with rather than jumping to exercises which are not going to do anything for you without the feeling of your breathing, right? And this is easier. All right, so we're just going to add the other piece of it because when we get on the floor and do the balls, these are the directions. So open your mouth. You can stay with this. Use your time wisely. You can stay with that. Open your mouth. Maybe the jaw is hanging a little heavier. Maybe you're letting a little more air out and you notice muscles changing when the air moves out. Some of you said that, right? And then when you slowly close your mouth, maybe you notice the air, right? So here's the gift. You don't have to try to breathe in. It's a reflex action, but you do have to accommodate letting the air back into our body. For most of us, that's foreign. So that's a little piece of the breathing, which, trust me, you are breathing all the time. Are you breathing well? Probably not. Right? Most of us aren't. So that's the beauty of it, right? Now, the breathing and the feeling of weight. Let's add the feeling of weight. So here's where my teacher thing comes in. I said I'm not a teacher, right? Here, watch this, right? Okay, now we're going to all say the word weight. No, please don't. But in your brain, I want you to say the word weight because weight means something. If I take this object here and I let go of it, it didn't fly up into space, right?
Right.
You have to understand that with your body. There is nothing that is not affected by gravity, right? And the reason you can be upright is because of your breathing and the feeling of weight. So now we're going to let the weight of your head bend forward, give into gravity, just like you opened your mouth and softened your jaw. Now we're going to feel the weight of the head bend forward. At the same time, you can still feel those other key areas, your breathing, your rib cage, your pelvis, and then when you're ready, you can bring your head up. But what's different about what we're doing is I want you to get a little more clarity on sensing your body as a whole. That is much easier than what most of us do. So try that a few times, right? On your own time. Let the weight of your head bend forward. Notice again, if you really allow the weight to bend forward, or if it feels like you need a couple of, little adjustments. Some of us need to soften the front of the neck. And when you're ready, bringing your head up, but there's no movement in the human body. This goes back to what Joanne said. What stretches change my body? It's when you do any movement. And I'm telling you what's easier than what you do. When you lift your head up, what happens to those other key areas? Yes, Patricia, that's a little bit more real. And did your head go up or did it go back into the same position? Yes, yawning that I'm seeing is a breathing response. Try it again. Let your head bend forward. Yawning is your diaphragmatic muscle drawing in a lot of air. Does your rib cage? Let your rib cage go back a little bit, Laura. Feel that sense that the weight of your chin softens into the upper back. Take the head forward so you can fully feel the weight of your head. Let your ribs go back so that your ribs actually, you start to play around with, maybe I'm locking them in place. That's maybe why I don't feel my body. It's all stuck in one clump. When I lift my head up, do I lift my head up? Could I go, higher? Do I lift my ribs up? Where's the feeling of my breathing? All right. And then let's just go ahead and take it into a little different feeling, right? When you lift your head up, of now letting your whole body bend forward, just hang over. So now the link is in your leg joint. That's that key area of your body. But again, especially if you've done the method, there's always things you can learn about the way you do things. Feel the weight, let your body get a little heavier, check out the sense of your breathing, and then gradually when you come up, notice how you come up. All right, so only you can tell how you do things. What parts of your body do you feel, oh, those are the ones I notice? What parts of your body don't you notice? When you come up, do you let your body finish the job? Do you notice a sense maybe you're sitting differently on those sits bones? Have you left a whole bunch of parts out? Go back to the feeling of your open mouth. Feel the weight of your jaw. Move the air out on a ha sound, like you're fogging up a window with your breath. And just again, be specific. Before we hang over again, because we are going to hang over again, I would just ask you to just embrace what some of you were saying earlier, which was really brilliant, the things you don't feel. And really, it's not that you don't feel them, it's that you don't feel them in a way that makes sense to you, right? It's like it's a different language. So when you do hang over again, you're going to hang over based on maybe noticing how you did it the first time. A lot of you anticipate or hesitate. You do a lot of hesitating and a lot of sort of introspection. And your body's not that complicated. When you bend forward, there's a massive link at the top of your leg. That's where you're folding. Beautiful. Feel the weight of it. Go for it. And give into gravity. So every part of your body, when you bend at your pelvis, that's why it's a key area, every part of your body is involved. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you have, let's say, problems with one side, you probably notice you bend differently on that side. If you feel like maybe you're stiffer in the ribs or you tend to, hold your breath, that's going to give you a lot of information. When you come up, do you just do it from your neck and shoulders? Do you feel your pelvis? Go in there and see if you can activate your pelvis, which brings me to my fifth key area. Yeah, as we look around the room, I'm really discovering a lot about myself. I really am a teacher because I'm ready to get out the ruler and start snapping. Okay, we have to talk just for a moment before we do that again. Yeah, and don't give yourself any awards, right? Don't give yourself awards, all right? I want to know, did you feel how you came up that time? No, seriously, because that's the whole difference right there. Did you feel how you came up? What you used, what you didn't use, and what's your body telling you? Come on. Anything? Is it telling you anything?
I was feeling it in the hips. I was using my pelvis to come up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Anybody else? Diane?
Well, I feel like I started aware of like weight in my feet to come up using this joint, and then I sort of went on autopilot.
Yeah, there's a lot of pilot going on, and I don't see the breathing, and I see you're just happy with the stretch. And if that's what you're looking for, happy with the stretch, anybody can stretch. Anybody can stretch. I'm not worried about you stretching, okay? But if that, the beauty and the joy of moving the body is getting a sense of the feeling of your breathing. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling, lengthen your arms up. Did anybody inhale?
My back is quite sore now, like in the back, ribs.
Are you sitting on the floor?
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely would sit on a chair because it's very challenging on a floor until you can begin to start to move your leg joint. If you can't move your leg joint, it's going to cause you to feel like your back is going, oh, I want to move, and it can't. Okay, bring your arms down and around. Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah. Okay.
You bring your arms down and around, you do not have to drop your rib cage. Let's try that again for a couple of.
Pardon, what did you say? If you
just reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Again, just get a sense. Yeah. So do you notice your arms, Deborah, are attached to your ribs?
Yes, I felt a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay, so bring your arms down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, check out anything with your breathing now. Give your body a chance to respond. Okay, so your body's going to do a lot of this for you, but it's what you're looking for, right? So you want to acknowledge any sense of your breathing. Movement is easy. So right now, I can tell you can feel your breathing a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so stay with that always, because that's what you're going to lose when you stretch. So stay with the feeling of your breathing. I'm just asking you to stay with the feeling of your breathing as you reach your arms up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stay with the feeling of your breathing. You don't have to make yourself breathe. Yeah, reach a little more, sweetie. Reach a little bit more. Somebody's got your hands. Pull yourself up. Yeah, no, right? This, at least this movement, to do this 2 or 3 times a day, everything is, it lifts your ribs off your diaphragmatic muscle, off your hips, off your lower back, and you can't phone it in. Okay, there you go. Look how lifted you are. Notice how you're breathing. Go back to the open mouth breathing. So we're still going back to those key areas of your body. The jaw is huge because the jaw is a big area of tightness for a lot of us that connects to neck, shoulders, upper back, the way we balance our head. The jaw is a beautiful thing, and you can do that anywhere. All right. So opening your mouth and doing that every day is going to make a difference, because you have to bring that into your stretches because it's too joyful not to. Why would anybody want to just stretch without the feeling of just letting yourself breathe? And you say, well, I don't like sitting that long. Yeah, I get that. So what do? Hang over. Go ahead. Let your body bend forward. Give in to gravity. This is not work. Go hang forward. Don't think about it for 12 hours. Right? Feel the weight of your body. That's it, Sherry. Go for it. Right? That's it. Yeah. When you bend forward, notice, are you letting yourself give into gravity? The middle of the rib cage. That's a good adjustment, Diane. If you want to stretch your arms out, reaching one side and the other, are your ribs moving when you reach your arms? So again, you start learning the instrument. Where's your breathing? Did you start holding your breath? That's it. Take your time. Take your time when you come up. Notice how you come up. Do you feel the middle, the pelvis, the head? Right. There's a lot of feeling in how you lift up through the feeling of the top of the head. It's going up. Yeah, it's still going up. Yeah, it never stops going up. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling now. Right. Notice your ribs lift right up. Let the top of the head go up. That's it. And then just reach your arms down and around. So reach. Reach like there's something out there you want to touch. Right? Doesn't mean you hold your breath. Your body would never hold your breath. It would never do that. Let your chin rest on your chest again. Feel the weight of your head and neck give into gravity. See if more parts of your body got involved. No, let your rib cage go back a little bit, Deborah. That's it. You too, Claudia. Let your rib cage go back. Right. Yeah, back. So your chest goes back. Back means behind the body. Forward means in front. So roll your rib cage back. Look at me from the side. right? Just so that you can start getting a little sense of that feeling even more. And then when you lift up, it's really related to the pelvis down. That's not intellectual. That's what your body's looking for, right? It's looking for connection. The more you feel it, it will reconnect. That's what you guys don't believe. The more, did you hear what I said? The more you feel it or have a sense of it, even if the sense is very small, doesn't matter. You have a sense of it, right? That's how your nervous system goes back and starts fixing things, right? Is through that feeling. It can't do anything for you without that feeling, right? So try it again. Go ahead, let the weight of your head bend forward. Notice what you're breathing is right. Let it move through your body. Good. Is your pelvis involved, right? So you begin to start noticing when you hold your breath, what the feeling, yeah. Are you throwing your head back when you come up, jutting your chin out? That's not your head. That's why these different key areas are just ways for you to begin to learn how to read. That's it. Get into the middle of your body, Alyssa. Right. Yeah. All right. So we're just going to come up one more time now, right? So you're up on the tip of your sits bones. All right. Go back to the open mouth breathing one more time. Exhale on an open mouth. And we're just going to sit for a moment after that exhalation and notice if you're sitting any different. So your body begins to, there's only two options with bodies. Now, emotions, right? We talked about that in the beginning. Thoughts can take you down rabbit trails that have nothing to do with the physical body, right? But they can take you away and they can make you do things like, oh my God, I really should do this or that, whatever. And we lose feeling. So there's only two things. When you started today, did you notice anything different about your sitting than you feel right now? So when you compare, that's how you learn the instrument. Something about the way you're sitting now, has it changed from when you first sat down? And is there any change in the feeling of your breathing? Anybody? What's that, Elizabeth?
I feel like I'm on both halves of my body, and I feel I have a middle between the two halves, and I feel I actually getting some air into my system. I feel better, feel more wide awake.
Yeah, and you can't move what you don't feel. And so the fact that you feel, your body isn't asking you to be, an Olympic athlete. Whatever you feel, it can then use that. It's very forgiving, but with no feeling, which for most of us means no breathing, when you can't feel your body, it usually means you have very little air in your body. When you have pain, chances are you're clenching constantly because the muscles of your body don't have circulation. And that's from that feeling of moving the instrument so that your diaphragmatic muscle can pull more air in. Anybody else?
I feel just incredible tension.
Where's that? Who?
That was me. And I just said I felt, Deborah, felt incredible tension, like I'm just holding my buttocks, my thighs, calves, shoulders. I'm holding everything so tight.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of that, like, you don't know, like, that was what got me on this journey, is like, I never felt what I was doing. I was doing everything they told me to do to fix my problem, but I never felt what I was doing. Until somebody asked me that simple question, what do you notice? And I gotta tell you, nobody was more angry about that question than me. Because to me, I thought, I know how I feel. I feel like crap. Why are you asking me that question? But I didn't feel my physical body, that I held my breath, that I clenched X, Y, and Z, that I had so much stiffness in my rib cage. I don't even want to tell you. But the reality is, that's what I went down this rabbit trail because I had something to work with then.
Yes,
Then I
yeah.
knew what I was dealing with. Oh, that's how you fix that mess.
Oh,
And that's what's never changed for me, right?
mhm.
It's the sense that your body will constantly help you through feeling the clenching. But when you breathe, when you begin to get a sense of learning from your body, then you can begin to enjoy moving it. The only challenge is it's going to take you to new places. And sometimes that scares people. That's why we go gradually, because you start moving things you haven't moved in a long time. And so some people get scared when that happens. I did. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to, pull something and never recover. But you're not doing anything that dramatic. It's just the physical body is very we'd almost rather keep hitting ourselves on the head with a hammer than change it because it's familiar the way it is. So these little things almost seem like, not like they can't possibly work, but they do, especially again, consistency, Sherry, don't give up on it because again, an exercise does not change your body. It's the way you exercise, it's the feeling. And that's what you discover in yourself over time. All right, well, we're going to stop here. Does anybody have any more questions? I'm happy to answer questions, but really we could go on, for like 2 or 3 hours with just continuing, but I know it's Elizabeth.
I started yawning the whole time.
Yeah, I used to have a student that would drive by my home and start yawning. Because
eyes are watering.
Yawning is a sign that your body is sucking in a lot of oxygen. And it probably means that it's a way for your diaphragmatic muscle to stretch. It's a way for you to get circulation. And so it's a great recovery. There are things that happen in the physical body that people like to start stretching when the air starts coming in the body. There's lots of different responses. People's sinuses can start, opening up and
all that.
yeah, right. Yeah, their eyes can start tearing, all kinds of stuff.
Does that only happen when you're like doing this? Like, what about when you're sleeping? Does everything get all tight again, or?
Well, I mean, when we sleep, again, it's a good idea to do stuff before you go to bed. Even if you just, again, the most effective things you can do is stuff like with like what we did today. You don't have to spend an hour, but to feel that when you say do something with your open mouth breathing, and again, you can do that in bed, that you allow yourself to feel how it physically, like putting air in a balloon, that it has a physical effect on your body. So you feel where you let it go into. That's going to allow some of that constriction that some of you feel that, most people feel, especially in this day and age. You start identifying the circulation is coming into the muscles. Because when we sleep, we don't want to go to bed with all the tension that we carry from the day. You want to be able to feel like you have a couple of different things you can do that bring that circulation into you. Because, most people don't move around a lot or deep breathe when they sleep. They get stiff because they don't deep breathe when they sleep. So yeah, I would do something. Sherry?
Physical therapist gave me an exercise that that made my hamstring hurt so bad that it hurts 24 hours.
Oh.
Every exercise I do, it affects. Sitting affects it. Everything affects it. So I started to get the feeling, different from the feeling you talk about, that I don't know if it's ever going to go away.
Yeah, don't think that way. First of all, chances are from what you described to me and how little feeling that you have in your body, which is 99% of the people on the planet. I've been doing this a long time. Don't ask me about anything else in life. But this I can tell you, okay, is you're not doing your breathing. I can tell by looking at people's bodies. It's not that complicated. I wish it were, then I would be like a really special person. It's not. It's just that I've been doing it a long time. This thoracic area is not working on most of us. It takes time and consistency to understand that physical feeling of letting breath in. Then that goes into the hamstrings, the leg joints, the hip problems, and everything else. But understanding that, we do a lot of lip service and we do a lot of the, oh yeah, I get that. Oh yeah, I breathe, 1-3-8. Oh, I do that every day. We do a lot of that stuff. And maybe that's what works for some people. I'm just saying I can relate because I've had stuff like that. But don't do that to your body. Don't say it's never going to change. It would be really crappy if you were doing everything I'm saying and had that problem. I would say, wow, but you're not. And I've never seen that. So, right, it's when we don't do it, and that's most of the time, and it's your breathing. It is not exercise will not change that. You have to improve the circulation, and that comes through understanding how the diaphragmatic muscle begins to start to stretch the thoracic area, begins to start to allow the body to reposition itself. It is quite miraculous. But it's within our nervous system. That's why you didn't need an exercise book to learn to walk, did you? You didn't need the book. Oh, wait, my head's supposed to. No, you ever see kids learn to walk? It's hilarious. They're trying everything. Throw this over here, throw that over there. Wait, try this. Whoa, how does this work? And it's all weight, lifting ribs, letting head go. They try, and then we walk around. I don't know why it hurts, because you locked it in position, you're stuck, and that there's no way for breath to move in anymore. And so I just don't want you to spend a lot of time without doing that, because that's going to make you happier. It's going to make you feel that joy of moving your body, is doing your breathing. So try it for a week. You don't have to, believe me, I was the biggest skeptic there was. I didn't jump on the bandwagon and go, oh, wow, this is going to work. I just did it and started to explore it. And, and every time I got change and the pain went away, I went, no, that was an accident. Oh, it took me years. That's why I'm good at the directions, because it took me years to trust this. I don't jump on any bandwagon. Nobody's gonna sell me anything unless I'm, very skeptical person. But again, that's why this is not me telling you what to do. You have to do it. You have to try something, whatever it is, and figure it out. And then that feeling you get when you're on the ball, if you feel the weight or if you're breathing, step 2 is to take it into your stretches. And you can do that, but you can't just stretch. You have to take the feeling of the weight, your breathing. You have to open yourself up to feedback from the physical body. It's an amazing instrument. You've got it, right? And sometimes it takes longer for some of us than others. But for me, at least I knew I was going in the right direction. And many of you who I know have done amazing things. And I just know there's more. That's why I push you. Because again, you can't, you can't like think there's never more. There's just, it's too amazing. But it's not like you think. It's not just if I work harder and harder and harder, I'm going to get it. It's different than that. It's an art form, your physical body. It's just, and it has its form to it. And we have to learn that form. We have to learn through feel. So do your open mouth breathing. Does everybody understand those directions?
I have one question. Is it breathing in with the nose and out with the mouth, or is it both in and out with the mouth?
Well, you make a good point. I mean, breathing is very simple, right? It's in, it's out. Most people think, which is true. Did you ever drive a stick shift in a car?
Yep.
Okay. You know how you don't just go from first to second, second to third? There's like a little, right? Right? Otherwise you grind the gears. When you do anything with your breathing, right? If you exhale now, like, and then you stop, chances are you can feel that little shift of gears and that stuff. So there's only the in and out. I would just advise you a little bit that you are already breathing in and out. So whenever you feel you're about to exhale, open your mouth and just extend it a bit, using the weight of your jaw for this particular one, so that gravity can help you slowly to understand that you might be really tightening some of those muscles as you let the breath out. Breathing in is automatic. It is a reflex action. So you just accommodate that wherever it goes, right? And that's
Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's in the mouth or through the mouth or nose, just
you don't
however.
you don't control your breathing. You're responding to it. You control the opening the mouth. The air is going to come out. If you want to lengthen the sound a little bit, you can do that. You can do the whole thing, but you're always breathing out and in. That's not to say if you went to a yoga class or you became a singer or you were learning professional tennis and they wanted you to make sounds, there's not a lot of things you could do with your breathing to manipulate, the results you want to get. But ultimately, your breathing is being trapped right now. You have no problem breathing. You have trapped it within our bodies through habits that we didn't decide on. It could be from past injuries. It could be from sitting at a desk long periods of time. It could be just from, postural issues, stress. It just is what it is. It doesn't matter, but you are breathing. So on an exhalation, you're adding that open mouth as you feel the weight of the jaw, because the jaw can lock your breathing, your shoulders can lock your breathing and lock everything in. You're allowing it to come out, you can move it out, and then you just slowly close your mouth and allow your body to fill up with air. You ever put air into a balloon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you allow the breath to come in, air takes up space. Notice how it begins to take up space in your body. But if you're going to keep the container shut, which is something we learn, oh, wow, I didn't realize I was clenching every muscle in my body. Little by little, so I don't need to do that anymore. That's exhausting. So little by little, you learn these little gems and you start realizing, oh, I have more confidence now in my body. And then you try bigger and better things.
Thank you. That's helpful.
I feel over time of doing this that I'm improving. It's, I think, a goal. So I'll use the word improving to feel more of my body kind of at the same time. Today, particularly, I'm noticing that I feel my chest expanding, my pelvic being affected by exhalation, relaxing the shoulders, changing the head with the jaw being open or closed, and how tense my thighs, knees, ankles, toes, calves are. So when I try to include them in my focus to relax that.
No, never say relax. Too much pressure. I never said the word relax.
Oh, well, it seemed like
too much. No, that can be the result of what you do. You might feel mentally relaxed. There's less stress in parts of your body. I'm not asking you to relax any muscle in your body. Never said that word once.
Okay.
So again, I don't want you to put that pressure on yourself because that's an emotional thing, relaxing. That's an emotional thing. I want to relax. I want to relax the weight of my body. I want to relax this and relax that. I'm asking you to feel the weight of your body and noticing your sense of breath.
Okay, what I did.
Body is not going to relax and do what you want it to do unless you feel the weight of it and unless you let it breathe. Then it will do what these other things you're talking about. Mm-hmm. All right. Sherry, do you feel your body at all?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to say something. It's very important, everybody. We have to take the method into the kitchen. Everything we do,
even though I don't get down on the floor because I'm kind of crippled as much, but I do the open mouth breathing in the kitchen. I raise my arms. I think all the time the method, because driving, sitting in the car is painful. I keep the balls in the car. I do the method in the process of daily living. That's the key, not just do the act on the floor or sitting in the chair, right, Elaine? It's got to be continuous because it's the way we breathe and we're feeling our breath affecting all these different areas. And I notice all the tension goes away in the kitchen when I'm doing a lot of stuff standing up, which hurts my crippled back. Thank you so much.
Now, that's a really good point because that's why I say it's not my method, it's your body's method.
Yeah.
This is not a method that is like, you know, a certain like yoga or Pilates or ballet or whatever. Those are forms of how to move your body. This is your body's method of recovering from a lot of things that have happened to us in our lives. You know, for me, I was very young, so it's not an age thing either. But your body does know how to recover. Children understand that at a young age. But pretty much by the time we get to be teenagers, we've gotten into the system. And, you know, I've worked with brilliant doctors, but also a lot of stuff in this world when it comes to bodies is very much, you know, like you're sort of an inanimate object and we're going to fix you, that there isn't this system in your body. And there is. And it can be incredibly helpful. And I want you to gain more and more confidence in that. You do go through, especially the first year, you do go through a lot of changes where you start noticing, oh, you know, this is how I didn't feel that before. Oh, my, that, whatever. So there's a lot of different things that go on as you go through it. It's a pretty amazing experience. I didn't sit down and play the piano. I wasn't a prodigy. I couldn't play a note, but I knew I loved the sound. I mean, you probably know or have memories of, you know, moving your body freely. It's still in your kinesthetic sense somewhere there, or looking at somebody watching. I look at children. I love, you know, watching little kids move and, you know, oh, yeah, I think I have that part too. I still have that part. And watching the way they breathe is fascinating, right? Or the tilt of their head, totally different animal, right? And then what happens? Well, we get busy. Things happen. Bodies really are the result of many, many different experiences we've had in our life. So it's in there, but we have to free it in some way. And that is a process. It's kind of an interesting process, but you can't just think it's if I move. Moving is the fountain of youth, don't get me wrong. But if you're going to move holding your breath and fighting with your body, you won't feel the joy of like, yeah, when you reach for that coffee cup in your kitchen, chances are you just lifted your ribs. But if you're going to reach this way, oh, I can't get it. You know, knowing the difference is life-changing, right? Because again, you just keep repeating habits over and over again. So anyway, I think I've overstayed my welcome. Thank you so much. We'll do this again. I think it's really, really important. I know, I mean, look, I remind myself every day when I do the directions, you know, what do I notice? Like it's that first question, what do I notice? And I actually answer myself. You know, I notice this, I notice that, because then I start getting feedback. If you jump over that and you don't understand that process, your body can't give you feedback. You don't want feedback that applies to somebody else. You want something you feel. And it's not about relaxing and going limp. There's nothing limp about anybody in this room. There's nothing to be afraid of. Whatever you have, your body has power and it has some hidden strength in there. And probably most of you know that about your body. But when it comes to your body, they take that power away from us a lot, right? Oh, this exercise is going to change your body. Yeah, I exercise, but when I go in there, I listen to what they're saying. but I know what I'm doing in my body, meaning the first thing I'm noticing is the feeling of, my physical body, how I'm standing, right? Just like you notice how you're sitting and where your breathing is, right? So you notice things you go in there with. You're not a slab of meat, right? And it does constantly improve at any time, any age, with any circumstance. All right, well, have a wonderful new year, and we will do this again. Thank you for some of the goodbyes that are coming in on the chat room. And if you have any questions or want to reach out or want to take any classes, you could go to the website. And I try to do these once a month, so we'll keep going. Remember, there's 5 key areas. Try to go over a few of them in your head, just in your head. Oh, where are they? Those areas. Yeah, it helps.
Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you,
Elaine.
Thank you.
Have a good week. Have a good day.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
You're a gift.
Thank you, sweetie.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mhm.